How's she going right there, eh? It's Danae here from Danilo's Outdoors. Just doing something a little different today. Just out in the backyard, working on a few little projects. It's kind of a nice day out. The clouds have come out there now. It was a nice sunny day. So what I did is I picked these native snowshoes the other day. And I wouldn't say I'm restoring them, but I'm just cleaning them up a little bit and putting some preservative on them to keep them. This is what it originally looked like, really dark. So I just sanded, on that other one I sanded the sinew a little bit just to brighten it up. And then the same thing with the wood. The wood is kind of all discolored and stained and water stained, and so I'm not going to be using these again. I'm just going to get rid of that and get another set of stirrups sometime. So these are made out of ash, and I'll show you one up better. You can see the really tight grain of the ash. Hopefully you can see that. And it's pretty neat. Right here in this spot in the center, they would cut that down with a draw knife in the center, and then they would heat this up and steam it, and then put it in a frame and bend it. And so this is one single piece, and you can see they hold them together with just 2 nails. So there's a steel nail there, and then they bend them over, hammer them, and then they have the laces in a few spots. And I was trying to keep them. There's even pencil marks on where they would put the mortise and the tenons in. Anyhow, I think it looks a lot better this way. And I've seen some guys, what they'll do is they will varnish them to preserve them so they can use them. So obviously, like I said, I'm not going to use these. These are just going to be wall hangers. And the other thing that I'm working on is I'm working on some of these hides. This is what I'm putting on there also. It's just Pledge, which is floor wax, and I use that on all my heads and antlers. So this is something that I've been working on, is my hide. So this is a mink that I've tanned. So it's all been tanned. It hasn't been smoked. And the only reason why you would smoke it is if you were suspecting you'd get it wet. Someday I'm going to rig up a smoker and I'll smoke all the hides at the same time. If I want to do that, I've done bears like that. This here is a bobcat. It's dry. It needs to get pickled and then put some tannin solution on it. So these are dry. Here is a red fox. Same deal. It's dry. It's been hanging inside for quite a few years now. And this here is a coyote. Same deal. So I have quite a few coyotes in the freezer. So my plan, and I think I've mentioned it to a few people, is I want to tan a bunch of coyote hides, and I'm going to just use the backs and then sew them together. I have an industrial sewing machine, and I want to sew them all together, and then I want to make a blanket. So that's one of the projects I'm going to work on sometime. Is I have a Hudson Bay blanket, or I'm going to look for a couple more, and I want one side of the Hudson Bay blanket to be all coyote hides, just the backs, and matching pillows, and then the other side will be the coyote fur and Hudson Bay. So this is what I've been going through with that. The last one I just did, just quick little sanding just to clean it up. It's got like some years of funk and grime. Like I said, I just picked these up from a dealer, a guy who has multiple a lot of native stuff from this area, and So these are more like Mi'kmaq. That's what my family is from. And that's what I want to do with the parts with the hides. My mother used to do that kind of stuff, make mittens and hats with her aunt years ago. My mother has passed away now, so that was the plan, is I was going to have a bunch of hides and then we were going to make hats and mittens and garments and all that kind of stuff with it. I was doing the trapping at the time. And even what I was doing is sanding the sinew part. Let me show you that whole thing. Basically just sanding this by hand. Just to clean it up, dress it up a little bit. Trying to make the colors a little bit more uniform. Water staining. Like I said, years of grime. Basically just clean it up. Whiten it, brighten it a little bit. And the sinew. What I liked about these was that they're really fine mesh pattern, and that's basically, I guess, for finer powder or like in the spring. Like I said, I'm not going to go too crazy on this. Basically just to clean it up a little bit, dress it up where it's a little dark, where it's been used. And then I go over it with the wire brush a little bit. Just a little wire brush. Okay, so now I'm just going to brush everything clean and put a coat of wax oil on it. And all this. I just have this stuff in a jar right now. I'll zoom that in some. See that? Yeah, it was a lot nicer when that sun was out. So this wax gives it a pretty good finish, and it gives it just a little bit of a sheen, but it doesn't last. Like it, after a year or so, you'd have to do it again. What I like about this stuff, it actually helps kind of repel the dust and grime, so it makes it a lot easier to keep everything clean. And like I said, that's what I use in my taxidermy mounts. And I'll probably put at least two coats on all the way around on both top and bottom. Get all around. Something too about these snowshoes is that, hopefully I can show you, they are fairly flat. The nose tips do not point as far up as the modern style. And the really old native or primitive ones are totally flat. They do not stand up. They do not tilt up at all. So that's when you know you have a really, really old set, like in the early 1900s. Apparently these are, I was told, they were like the 1950s era. Like I said, I'm just going to get a good coat all the way around, and then I'll give you a close-up to show you how it looks now. I think it looks a lot better. Okay, there you go. They're all done there now. I'm going to take a couple pictures for my thumbnail, but I like to get a close-up of them. I'll show you one of them here in a sec. Okay, so there's, hopefully you can see the detail in that. You know, it's not like I made them look like they were brand new. I wanted, you know, them to look like they were well used and authentic. Anyhow, if you could, like, share, subscribe, comment. Thanks for watching. That's the end there, eh?